I'm Mel Bunn, licensed realtor in North Carolina and Florida, and today I am going to be talking with Moses Alford of Alford Lending Group. Moses, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Mel, for having me today. Like she said, my name is Moses Alford. I am a mortgage loan originator and branch manager based here in Tampa, Florida. My company, Alford Lending Group, is a franchise of Nexa Lending. We are the largest mortgage company in the country. We're brokerage. We have more options. I mean, if it relates to money and real estate, we can get it done for you.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining me tonight. So tonight we are going to talk about first-time home buyers
Yeah.
and what that looks like from the lending perspective and the real estate as a realtor. So Moses and I are actually working on a couple deals together. Moses is one of my preferred lenders here in Tampa, Florida. So we're going to just dig right into it.
Yes. So this particular client, it's really interesting, and I'm really glad that it played out the way it did because he came just wanting to purchase a single family home. He thought, he'd qualify for a very small amount, but because she sent him to, one of the best lenders around, I was able to help him understand that he can qualify for a multifamily. And he doesn't just have to get a single family home where he's responsible for the whole mortgage. He can buy up to 4 units and have the other tenants paying majority of the mortgage, if not all. And he was really excited when he learned that.
Oh, absolutely. When he came back to me, he said, I talked to Moses and we're talking about 4 units. So let's talk about Moses. What does that look like for someone who's a first time home buyer?
Well, a first-time home buyer, the definition of that is someone who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years. And that gets mixed up a lot with down payment assistance. Those are two completely different things. But for a first-time home buyer, typically they're going to want to see 620 credit score, somewhere in that neighborhood, at a minimum. And if you're talking about buying a multifamily, it does require a little bit more liquidity because effectively you're starting a business, you're becoming an investor, and there's always that possibility that your units may not rent right away. So the bank is going to want to see that you have 3 to 6 months of that monthly payment that you can pay should it take a while to get those units rented.
Okay. So what type of lending are we talking about? Are we talking about, everybody knows conventional FHA, but do we really understand what that means? So when we're talking about, is a first time home buyer able to qualify for a FHA with a 4 unit
Absolutely,
home?
absolutely. With the programs that we have, whether it's FHA, conventional, VA, USDA, we can work with first time home buyers. The down payment is typically going to be lower on a first time home buyer. There are going to be certain incentives with the interest rate and lower mortgage insurance, your MI, upfront when you're a first time home buyer. But it really just depends on your profile, your credit scores, what your debt to income ratio ends up being, and that kind of tells us which program we should put you on. Great question.
Yeah, because everybody's situation is different.
Yes.
Oftentimes, as a realtor, people come to me and they say, well, my friend said this, or my friend said that, which is the reason we are doing this.
Right.
Because not everybody's situation is the same. Your friend may be able to qualify for a conventional loan with this amount, but your circumstance or your situation may look better in an FHA loan.
Correct.
Can you go into a little bit of the differences of what a FHA loan looks like versus a conventional?
Absolutely, absolutely. So when it comes to the minimum down payments on both of them, they're going to be roughly the same for a first-time home buyer. On a conventional, the minimum down payment is 3%. On an FHA, it's 3.5%.
Okay.
On an FHA, it's 3.5% whether you're a first-time home buyer or not. But on a conventional, if you're not a first-time home buyer, it's 5%. Also, on a conventional, if you're buying a manufactured home, mobile home, the minimum down payment is 5%. The biggest difference, the two biggest differences between the two are going to be your interest rate and the amount of your mortgage insurance. If you've got higher credit scores, a conventional is really going to be the way to go because you're going to get low MI, you're going to get a better interest rate, and it's going to be a smooth process.
Let's even throw in there USDA.
Yeah. USDA, USDA doesn't come with MI, but USDA's rates are lower than both of those programs. But USDA is a very unique animal. You know, it only applies in certain rural areas. There are additional inspections and reports and qualifications that the property has to fit in order for USDA. Additionally, USDA is the most restrictive when it comes to debt to income ratio. So let's just say the same person would qualify for 300,000 maximum on an FHA. Mm-hmm. They would probably qualify for a maximum of 250,000 on that same conventional because of the debt to income ratio differences. They're probably going to qualify for about 190 maximum on a USDA loan.
And you mentioned that USDA, there it has to be certain homes in certain rural areas. Correct. So you couldn't be in the city limits of, say, Tampa.
No.
And okay.
Yeah, like there's nowhere in Pinellas County that qualifies for USDA. There's very few areas in Hillsborough, and there are some, especially in eastern Pasco, that do. But most of that's going to be like your true rural areas, parts of Polk County, Osceola County, you know, those types of places.
Okay. Yeah. That's really good to know. So let's go a little bit into down payment assistance, because we're talking about first-time home buyers. We understand that many first-time home buyers may not have a lot of money, and that's the scariest part for several. I hear often they're worried about credit, because you know, I've been hosting these workshops for a bit, and that's the most common question that I'm getting from people: credit and the money that it costs to close. Right. So let's talk about down payment assistance and some of the differences between the programs.
Absolutely. Well, before I go into that, I want to kind of put a disclaimer here. You know, credit is the mathematical calculation that you will pay your bills based on your history of paying your bills in the past. No one ends up with bad credit because of bad luck. Bad credit is the result of bad habits. So it's a really good idea to fix those bad habits before you go and take on a mortgage and purchase a house for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fixing those habits and those credits, it's not as hard as you think. It really does come down to making sure the horse is in front of the cart. Don't spend more than you have. Live within your means. And, you know, I have programs that can go down to a 600 credit score, you know, but there's an underwriting system underneath what we do that looks at your whole identity. It looks at your payment history, your taxes, everything. And it's literally an algorithm that, you know, I could tell you you're approved and your score looks great and all of that. But if the automated underwriting system doesn't like you, you're not going to buy that house. So it's really important to get the right mindset, to get into a system of learning how to save, to say no to things before you take on this huge responsibility. Now I'll go into the down payment assistance.
Okay, programs. All right. Because I do want to just piggyback on that. Buying a home is one of the most financially responsible things you can do.
Yes.
And so if you are not financially responsible for it, or before you even get to that part,
yes,
you know, it doesn't get easier when you have a $3,000 mortgage payment.
Right. And then things will inevitably break on the house. There are warranty programs. There are things you can do, but you need to be living within your means. That's really what it comes down to. But yes, there are definitely programs out there because, you know, I do what I do because I know that there are a lot of hardworking people out there who pay their bills on time, who do the best that they can, but with inflation and the steady cost of rent rising, they're getting squeezed. And if you were to buy your own home, now that payment is more or less fixed. You're not going to be subject to inflation. And then over time, you're going to build up equity in that home and you'll be able to refinance that, use that when hard times come, to put your children through college, all of these types, to retire one day. All of those things it's not just about paying a mortgage versus paying rent. No, this is your nest egg. This is the beginning of your retirement. If you don't have a 401k, this becomes your 401k. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to look at it from that aspect. And, you know, because of that, there are a lot of different programs that want people to have access to this. The programs really come down to, You have lender-based programs that are, the bank providing 100% financing, that sort of thing.
Okay.
You've got your city, SHIP programs, City of Tampa, St. Petersburg, all of those types of programs. And those go along with the CRA, Community Reinvestment Acts, and all those types of programs. Mm-hmm. The DARE is a common one people know of. And then you've got your statewide programs, which are your Hometown Heroes and just different Florida Housing Authority programs. Mm-hmm. So I'll talk about each of them individually, and I'll work from the back. Okay. The Hometown Heroes is a great program for anyone that qualifies for it. It's really for first responders and the hometown hero kind of folks.
That kind of speaks for itself.
But they give you up to 5% of your purchase price. I think it's maxed out at $35,000. The income limit is really high on it. Household wise, you can make, I believe, about $140,000 and still qualify. 640 is going to be your minimum credit score. It does come with its own interest rate. It is not forgivable. You do have to pay that money back one day, right? I call it the rich uncle loan. They'll give it to you and they don't need it back anytime soon. But whenever you sell or refinance that house, they want their money back.
To your point, not every down payment assistance program do you not have to pay back. Some
Correct.
You do.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's forgivable versus non-forgivable. Forgivable means you don't have to pay it. Non-forgivable means either you're going to pay it when you refinance or sell, or in some cases you have a second mortgage that you're paying right along with your first mortgage. With the state programs, the Hometown Heroes is the best known, but they've got a lot of other really good programs. Some are forgivable, some aren't. Some come with a payment, some don't. Mm-hmm. It just depends on your situation. We'll look at it and figure out what would be best. And then there's the City of Tampa programs, those city type programs. Those are going to give you the most money. I mean, I did one for someone last year, and we got this nice lady $100,000.
$100,000 in down payment assistance?
$100,000. She qualified for like 140, and we got her a house for 230,000, and her mortgage is based off of 140.
Wow.
She spent maybe $1,500, whatever the minimum is. She spent like $2,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
The rest of it she got refunded. She makes $35,000 a year.
How much would you say of that $100,000 does she have to pay back?
None. Zero.
None.
Zero. It's fully forgivable. It's a 5-year step down repayment. So every year they forgive 20% of it. But she'll never have to pay a dime of that back.
So she has to live in her home for 5 years.
For 5 years.
Wow.
And she think about, she's at that moment she has $100,000 in equity. What we were just talking about, her net worth just increased by $100,000, and the City of Tampa has more money than they can give away. People aren't taking advantage of the program.
And she makes $35,000 a year.
$35,000
and has $100,000 in equity walking into her home.
Walking into her home from day one.
Wow.
And got the house that she wanted. We combined the City of Tampa DARE program. She got the maximum benefit on that, which was $50,000, mm-hmm. and then it matched with the CRA program, Community Reinvestment Act, because the house was in one of those majority-minority areas. Mm-hmm. Best case scenario. Over in St. Pete, they're maxing out at $75,000. The CRA can match that $75,000. And they have the Pinellas disaster relief for anybody who was here through the two storms. That's up to another $80,000. People can get $200,000 plus.
People, home ownership is possible. Do you hear this? Did you just hear this? Yes. Home ownership is possible.
Yes. Even up in Pasco, one of my loan officers I work with, Michael Thoit, we worked with his dad, helped him get situated, and he got $55,000 from Pasco County. Originally his approval was only for like $170,000. Couldn't find anything in that price point. He took the steps. He did what he needed to do. Got that $50,000, and we bought him a house right around $220,000. He's very happy with it. Wow. And again, he does not have to pay that money back.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. So that's the city programs. You're going to need a 640 credit score. They're going to, there are income limits. The income limits are, if you make enough to be able to save money, you're probably not going to qualify for these. These are for people who really do need the money, who work hard, pay their bills, but are not able to save because of their income bracket.
Right.
Like I said, they're forgivable. They do not, this is what else is sweet. They do not come with their own interest rate. This is just a grant on the side. You get whatever interest rate you qualify for. So that lady we're talking about, she had a conventional loan and she had so much money left over. We bought her rate down to 5.65.
Wow.
In this market. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yes.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yes. Very cool program. So that's that. And then lastly are the one, well, here's the other catch. Those take time. There are steps involved. You will have to attend, first you'll come to me, get your approval. Then you'll get set up with the first time home buyer course. This is an 8-hour class, typically speaking. Then you'll have to get set up with your counselor. You will go through the counseling program. You're going to do a complete application with them. They're going to pull your credit. There's a minimum amount that you have to have, whether it's $2,000 or $3,000, and they're going to want to see that you have that money before they issue your certificate. But once you get your certificate, that's as good as that's $50,000, like a check going to the bank.
Every minute of the time that it takes.
Yes, it could take a couple of months. Typically, it will take a couple of months. But if you've got the time, you've got the patience, and you start early, this is the best out of all the programs that I'm talking about because it's given the largest amount. It can literally take you into another bracket of homes that you wouldn't even be able to qualify for.
Wow.
So yes.
Wow. Homeownership is possible, people. That's what I'm going to say, because we understand. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about down payment assistance and credit scores, and we understand that this is a lot of information. We don't expect you to know it all, but that's why you come to us.
That's why we're here.
This is why we're here. Yeah. This is why we are partnering in this moment, so that you can learn that homeownership is possible. It's available to you. You do have to be disciplined, and it does take some time, but it is absolutely available.
It is absolutely available.
What else you want them to know, Moses?
Well, the most important things to know are: know where you are. Know your situation.
Yes.
Don't trust Credit Karma. Don't trust those free credit services. Get your free annual credit report.com. Free annual credit report.com. That's the website. But everyone's entitled to a free credit report every year. Additionally, myfico.com is the best website for a consumer to monitor their real score if they want to buy a home.
I just want to go back to a second. You said don't trust Credit Karma. Let's talk about that. Because a lot of times people will think that Credit Karma is their true score.
Yeah, no, Credit Karma is not. There are 12 different credit scores. And, the old people used to say free stuff will kill you. So don't trust it. But myfico.com, it's like $39 a month. And then you can see your true mortgage score. It's the only way you can see your true mortgage score without getting a hard inquiry. And from there you can, and not only that, it has tools that allow you to simulate and tell you exactly what you need to do. Sometimes it may say pay off these collections, or it might say open a new credit card,
right.
Or, it might say don't do anything, you're on track, but at least then you'll know. And as long as you're, starting with a mindset that you're going to do what it takes, especially understanding that this is not just about rent versus mortgage. This is about generational wealth. This is about a comfortable retirement. This is about having equity to brave through hard times when they come, when you can refinance and tap into that equity. And so, don't expect it to be easy. Expect, to you're
gonna have to work for it.
You're gonna have to work for it, but it's gonna be so worth it when you have something no one can take from you. No one can tell you you're gonna get evicted if you don't turn your music down.
Right.
No one can tell you can have a dog or not. All those types of things.
Right.
And get good information. Don't listen to ChatGPT. Don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to the podcast. They don't do this for a living. They're not in these streets. We are. We really do this. I have receipts to back up everything that I'm claiming, and lots of testimonials from people who are in their houses right now because of my work.
Yeah.
So come to the professionals, find out where you are, and we'll help you figure out what you need to do to get there, whether it takes 6 months or a few years. We're not going anywhere.
Here's the thing. We don't expect that most first-time home buyers walk through the door ready. But that's why we're holding this. This is why we have sessions like the workshop that I'm hosting. This is why we're connecting, because we don't always expect you to walk through the door ready, but we are ready to help you get ready.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It starts with knowing where you are. If you don't start, you'll never know.
You don't know at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A year from now, you can own your own home.
That's right. Or less.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm really ready to be of assistance to everyone. Thank you so much for listening, giving us your attention. I know this was a lot of information. I laugh with people that talking to me can be like drinking water through a fire hose, but I don't mind repeating it. So,
Yeah.
Feel free
That's
to
all we're
reach
here.
out to me. I am all over social media. Moses Alfred on Instagram. Yeah, Moses Alfred on Instagram, on Facebook. My website, mosesalfred.com. We host a lot of events, educational things, and looking forward to being of service to you.
All right, Moses, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you taking the time. We are in his podcast studio. So I do thank you for taking the time to sit with us, chat with me a little bit about first-time home buyers. You guys, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Moses, reach out to me. Thank you. Have a good night.